Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today I am going to be making one of my favorite yellow cake recipes. Really basic and super easy to make. Throw everything in the bowl, put it on the mixer, and in 2 minutes you have the most delicious cake batter you've ever had. It bakes up wonderful. I love it. I use it all the time in cakes, and it's going to be a recipe that I'm sharing from the Betty Crocker cookbook. This one's about 10 years old, so I don't know if they sell this anymore. I'll see if I can find it on Amazon. I've tried to find this specific recipe to link it, and I can't seem to find it, so Betty Crocker must have tweaked the recipe, but this one is awesome, and I'll share it with you today. So let's get going. Okay, so I think I have everything I need. I'm going to pull my hair back. Today was one of those days where you're just running around running errands, so I'm trying to get everything done. So everything, like I said in the intro, goes in this one bowl, and then you turn on the mixer so that it all goes in. There's no creaming. It's so easy. So let's see. If you hear noises, Mr. Paul is behind you on the floor. So I'm going to add 2 1/4 cups of AP flour, or all-purpose flour. Actually, you know what I forgot to do is I forgot to turn my oven on. So what is that at? 350. So I'm going to get my oven preheating here while we do this. Okay, so that was 1. Butter 2. And 1/4. Sometimes I'll weigh this out too. I'm just not feeling it. And then sugar going right in here. And I need 1.5 cups. And then 1/2 cup or 1 stick of butter or margarine, it said. I have never tried it with margarine, so do that at your own risk, but I'm using butter here. I'm gonna keep that for a second. And then 1.25 cups of milk. I will say though, I think the dairy matters here. I have tried making cakes before with skim milk or like almond milk and soy milk, and I do kind of notice the difference. You miss that fat. I'm using right here whole milk. I've even used half and half before if I had some extra from another recipe. It does make a difference. I find that if you use skim milk personally, or a nut milk, oat milk, thing like that, they don't have enough fat and they get a little dry. You might be able to substitute by adding like maybe, if I was using skim milk, I might try adding like maybe 2 tablespoons of just like canola oil to kind of balance that if that's all you had. Because I get not wanting to buy a whole thing of whole milk just for a recipe. So that was 1.25 cups of milk. And then I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of salt. I'm just going to actually just spit that. And this is, you're hearing this right, 3.5 teaspoons of baking powder. And what I like to do actually is just sift this because mine is really lumpy, so I'm going to do that really quickly. I have baked before and gotten like a pocket of baking powder or baking soda, and it is not pleasant. So 3. And then I'm just going to do 1/2 this way. And then I will just sift this over just to make sure there's no lumps. My baking powder is a little old. I saw somewhere that somebody gets a new baking powder every Christmas before they start making cookies. I'm gonna start doing that. I don't even know how old mine is. Best used by 2021, so it says it's still good. And what else do we have? 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Or so. And then 3 whole eggs. So this is a yellow cake. A white cake wouldn't have the egg yolks in it, so. I'll be right back. I'm just gonna crack these over the garbage. And I'm just gonna dump those in. So like I said, everything goes in here, and I'm going to beat this on the electric mixer on low for 30 seconds, just basically till everything gets quasi-combined, and then turn it up to high speed for 3 minutes. Like I said, my kitchen is a mess because we've been running errands all day, so please don't judge me. Okay, so low for about 30 seconds. And then once you get everything mostly combined, I'm going to turn this on high, which is a 10, very slowly, and let it go for 3 minutes. I don't know if you can see Paul, he's over there on the floor behaving himself, being a good boy. Yes. So this recipe will make a 9x13. It will do 9-inch pans, 8-inch pans, or 24 cupcakes. I've done all of them. They've come out great every single time. I will say though that it has like little chunks of butter in it, which is not very appealing. And normally when I see that, I would have thought it would mess up the cake, and it doesn't for some reason. So if it looks weird, it's a very thin batter, but it works really well. So I'm going to just show you what I do to my pans. This works out really well when you have 2 sticks in a recipe, but I don't. I just have this one. But I save these because they're still on the butter wrapper, that wax paper. There's still butter on there, so I would use that to kind of line my pans. Just not wasting anything. Especially not this one, but usually I'm using like organic butter, and that stuff is cheap, expensive. Right, Paul? Yeah. It's a little messy, but it does the job. Or you can use spray. Mine's olive oil. It's not going to taste like olive oil. It's fine. I'll spray this one. I'm going to do that over the sink. Of course, that one runs out on me as well. So let me just rub that around. Okay. So that could be thrown away now. And then just one more insurance policy I always put, especially with pans like this that don't have a false bottom, I always do parchment. And I found these perfect parchment circles on Amazon. I'll link them, of course. And they're essentially, I just ripped this one by accident, but they're essentially pre-cut. This is an 8-inch round, and there's, I think, a 9-inch as well. But what's nice is it has these tabs, so you can like lift it out. Sometimes the tabs do bake into the cake a little bit, which is kind of annoying, but this is just for us, so I'm not really overly worried about it. What I kind of do is I fold the tabs, I hope you can see this. I fold the tabs one way, and then see how they're putting down. Then I kind of fold them the opposite way, and that's the way I put them in. And it kind of sort of helps. And you make sure they stick to that grease on the side. So then when they come out, I can just pull them out uber easy. So let's portion these out. You can do it by scoops, you can do it by weight. I'm just gonna eyeball it. This cake is just for us, so. Big mix. Oh, I wish I was left-handed. Let me try to do it the other way. Let's see how this goes. And like I said, it's gross looking because it's kind of like chunky with the butter because you're literally mixing everything in, but trust me, it bakes up and you don't see that. I don't know how. It's magic. I thought there would have been like literally pockets of butter or grease or something. It doesn't. It works. Okay, so the buzzer just went off. This was in the convection side of my oven for 20 minutes. What I would have done if I was doing it for somebody else is come halfway through and spin them. I didn't. I was taking care of a little guy up here. So they did get a little wobbly or lopsided, but that's totally fine. I'm going to level these up a little bit to fill them anyway. So I'm going to take them out. The test I always do is the center isn't jiggly. I can touch it and it bounces back. And then if you put a toothpick in the middle, there's no batter on it. So that's how I know it's done. I will say with this particular recipe, I have overbaked it a couple times. Just, forget what I was doing and come back to it, and it's really dry and it dries out quickly. So I find that a lot with butter-based cakes. Oil cakes don't do that. They're a little more forgiving, but this will dry out if you overbake it, so really try not to. So these again were the 8-inch. I did them on the convection and it was, what did I say, 20 minutes. So I'm going to let these cool in the pans for about 10 minutes. And then I'm going to come and use those tabs, just lift the whole thing out on a wire rack, and I'll show you when we get to that point. Okay, so it's been in theory about 15 minutes. I'm going to take these out of the pan. This burner is on, so I'm going to try to be careful. I'll just put this over here for a second. So, what I used to keep so I don't mess up my pans was a plastic knife, but I have no idea what to do with it. But basically, once you run the knife around the side, I'm going the back of the unsharp knife here, so I'm not scratching my pan. Just kind of running it around, making sure it won't release. Paul's over there having eggs and peas for dinner, if you're wondering. And then see how nicely this comes out, and I don't have to like flip it over or anything. And I hardly ever make layers, frost and ice them in the same day. So I'm making these today is Wednesday, that I'm going to assemble a cake tomorrow, Thursday, and enjoy with family on Friday. So I'm gonna wrap these in cellophane and throw them in the fridge or freezer once they're cool. So I'm actually going to leave this paper on and wrap it in that way, so I'm not gonna take it off. But what I usually do is wait for this to completely cool, pick it up, peel off the paper, and boom, done. And you can see how it got a little lopsided. It also collapsed here a little bit, which makes me think that wasn't quite cooked there, but that's okay, because I can just cut it off. And then boom, here's my other one. These papers are super nice. Can you make a parchment paper circle yourself with regular parchment? Absolutely. It's just a little shortcut that makes this easier. So those are done. I'm gonna let them completely cool. We're gonna have dinner, so probably I'm gonna forget about them, and it's gonna be, what do you think, an hour or so? 2. Completely wrap them in cellophane, and I'm gonna put them in the fridge. Probably just the fridge. If it was any more than like 2 days, I'd just chuck them in the freezer, and they freeze wonderfully. So they're done. So that is my super easy basic vanilla cake recipe. I hope you try it. If you do, tag me on Instagram. I'd love to see your creations. It's Missla29. I'll put it over here. If you like this video or want to see other videos like that, please give me a thumbs up so I know you like it. Subscribe if you haven't, and we'll see you next time. Bye.